Good afternoon. Today we are unveiling YouCut Phase 2. When we began the YouCut program, first of all, it was the first all-out effort at trying to engage an online community in the congressional process, the lawmaking process, but particularly to focus on helping us change the culture in Washington from one of spending to one of savings. And that was our goal. Because last year when we introduced it, we were looking at the prospects of a new majority, and it was our commitment that we were going to make sure that this town start to look at ways of saving, not spending. We were successful at that, and as all of you know, because you've been covering it, we are about trying to save the taxpayers' money and to change the culture here in Washington. Now, YouCut Phase 2 is now a program that will be led by our freshman class. It will be a program reshaped to focus on the fact that we are in the majority, and it will cover the entire legislative process. The contest of YouCut elections, essentially online, will take place in the beginning of the process. The YouCut community will vote on a measure that a freshman will then introduce into law. Again, these are all ideas that will come forward. The freshman class will take the effort. The individuals behind me will lead. And these will all be ideas of how to cut spending here in Washington. We, as Republicans, remain committed to employ the latest technology, to engage the social media utility so that more and more Americans can be involved in the legislative process. More and more Americans can join us in our effort to change the culture of one of savings instead of spending here in Washington. With that, I want to ask the president of the freshman class, Austin Scott, to speak.
Thank you, Eric. And on behalf of the freshman class, we look forward to taking on this challenge. We understand that pennies make dollars and that every cut counts. One of the things that I hope that we will be able to do is to engage the school community. I am the father of an 11-year-old son. When people say, what is the identifying factor of the 87 freshman Republicans, I tell them we have 300 children and grandchildren in our class. So I hope that the teachers across the country will embrace this and have their students participate in this as well. MajorityLeader.gov/YouCut is the website. We will be updating that. And again, every American out there has seen some form, some shape of government waste. And all of those little bits of waste have added up to a tremendous deficit that we have and a tremendous national debt. And it's time to start cutting that. And we intend to move forward with that in a very aggressive and timely manner. Thank you for your leadership on this, Eric, and I'm going to turn it over now to Nick.
Great. Actually, I was going to have ladies go first.
Okay, I'll go. Renee, Ellmers, North Carolina 2. Today we're launching a new effort to cut wasteful spending in Washington, and our constituents are going to have a direct part in that. This initiative gives Americans the opportunity to work towards cutting that unnecessary spending, those unnecessary programs that are costing American taxpayers millions of dollars. This year, the members of the freshman class, we will be building on the successful framework that has already been put forward by Leader Cantor, and we are going to be able to have the American people champion the spending cuts over the next 19 weeks that we are in session. 3 spending cuts will be chosen by the majority leader and the freshman class sponsor. Each freshman will have an opportunity each time to do this, and we will be able to move forward with legislation. There will be a YouCut bill each time that will go through committee and can be tracked on the website. So this is a wonderful opportunity for Americans, as Austin pointed out, for our children to actually see the process of how a bill goes through and forward. And it's just, again, a wonderful thing for the American people to be able to have such a direct part. I am looking forward and excited to see how this moves forward. And I am excited to see how and when we can turn this economy around as we continue on these spending cuts. Thank you.
Under Mr. Cantor's leadership, this program has already been tremendously successful. I think we're reaching almost 500,000 people a week with this program. We're hoping with YouCut 2 to make it even more successful in a couple of different ways. We're hoping to double the number of people that we reach out to, reaching as many as 1 million people a week. We also hope to actually get these cuts passed into law. One of the disadvantages of being in the minority was that we would draw attention to these awful programs that we fund, but we couldn't do anything about it. This year we can. We also have a tremendous opportunity to get information from the folks back home. I can't tell you the number of times I've had folks call me and say, did you know you were spending money on thus and such a program? And there's no way that you can be here in Washington and understand where all of the money goes. It's the folks back home who oftentimes bring them to our attention, bring the wasteful spending to our attention. So this is going to be a two-way street. This is going to be us reaching out to them and also not only informing them about the spending difficulties that we have and the opportunities that we have to save taxpayer money, but also to get input from them as to how we can best do that. So I think the upside here is tremendous. I take my hat off to leadership and appreciate the opportunity to be involved with it.